independent in thought, and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
I briefed the media and testified in Congress that our immigration system was at the breaking point. That breaking point has arrived this week at our border. CBP is facing an unprecedented humanitarian and border security crisis all along our southwest border. On Monday and Tuesday, CBP started the day with over 12,000 migrants in our custody. As of this morning, that number was 13,400. A high number for us is 4,000. A crisis level is 6,000.
Yeah. He says we don't have an immigration policy. We have no policy. That right there is the man who leads U.S. Customs and Border Protection. That is the guy. Kevin McCallihan is the man right there. We have an issue like you could not believe. We do. And it's getting worse. I tweeted out something earlier as like the whole thought of catch and release still just, it boggles the mind. It does. It's like Chicago's running our border. Right? It's like, what are we doing? The numbers are huge. This is going to be an issue. And for those of you not keeping score, and many of you do keep score because we live in a world of scores, it's not just an issue for people who are on the right side of the aisle. There are people who are moderates, who are independents, and even some Democrats are like, okay, enough is enough. At some point in time, the pandering, the BS, the stuff that's going on with whether it's, sanctuary cities or states or whatever, enough is enough. Enough is absolutely enough. The numbers are ridiculous. I spoke to 2 border officers in the last couple of weeks who listen to me, who tell me, you have no idea how bad it is. You have no idea how bad it is. Zero idea. And it's only getting worse. And frustration, to say the least. You may not like what Trump wants to do. I got no problem with that. You may not like Trump at all in any way, shape, or form. You think that he's a xenophobe, he's a white nationalist, all of those things. But can you at least say we've got an issue here that needs to be dealt with, because it is going to become an emergency that really will have to be dealt with no matter on all sides. Think about, and I try to explain this to people. People are always looking for, okay, what's the net positive to illegal immigration? Until they'll say, hey, it's been a net positive. They pay taxes. I tell everybody, break it down to the local side of things when it comes to it. The pressures that are put on all of the local communities is massive. From school and the resources that go into health care and providing housing and all the things that weren't supposed. Think about that. That's where you step back and go, yeah. We have an issue that is going to be a big issue along with health care as we head into 2020, because for better or for worse, depending on what side of the aisle is, Trump has made this an issue, and this issue now is getting more and more play, and it should. Because we have a massive problem that's not being dealt with and hasn't been dealt with long before Trump or Obama ever came around. Nope. This thing has been ignored, and it can't be anymore.
We are now on pace for over 100,000 apprehensions and encounters with migrants in March, with 90% of those, 90,000 people, crossing the border illegally between ports of entry. March will be the highest month since 2008. The arriving flows are made up primarily of Central American families and unaccompanied children, over 65% of them. These groups cannot be repatriated expeditiously and instead are almost guaranteed to be released to remain in the U.S. indefinitely, regardless of the merits of their immigration or asylum claim.
Yeah, there you go. And the asylum that most of them claim are what? It's not what you think. It is not what you think. In Phoenix, they dumped 18,500 people off. There you go. We're just releasing you. There you go. Here it is, right? The pressures to figure out what to do with these people. I was talking to several reporters that were down there, and they were saying, these people don't even have a plan. They don't have a plan. They have no plan. And they say they're running because economically they just don't have a choice. They got to get out. We have problems. And those are, for most part, again, I'm not debating whether they're good people. A good majority of them are good people. They're coming here. They're looking. They want an opportunity. I understand that. Look, the average person with common sense gets that. We should have to preface everything. We know that. But the reality is it's not just them. And there are issues. And we have no way of vetting these people. And we turn them loose because catch and release, somebody thought that was a brilliant idea, which is just insane. It really is. And here we are dealing with it. And again, with no way to vet these people in a real way.
The last time we had crossings near this level, they were almost all single adults from Mexico who could be swiftly repatriated. There's a big difference. In March, almost 40,000 children will come into CBP's custody after making a harrowing journey in the hands of violent and callous human smugglers through Mexico. While 65% of crossings are now families and children who most often present themselves to Border Patrol agents, 35% are still single adults who try apprehension at our border. And within that flow are thousands of criminals, smugglers, gang members, and public safety threats that we're sworn to protect this country from.
It's insane. It is absolutely insane. And what do we have to show for it? I'm just curious about all of this. What do we have to show? We've got a broken system that is not being fixed. Catch and release is in full effect. People are understanding on the other side of the border exactly what's going to happen. And they're coming here and they're putting pressures left, right, and center, and nobody wants to deal with it. I said all along, I don't like the way Trump goes about things. I don't, and a lot of people in the media can't stand him. They love him, but they hate him. But the reality is, he has shined a light on something that needed to be seen. And here it is. Here it absolutely is. And the question is, now what? Now what? What do we do from here? And who's going to do it? Because you listen to the crazies all over the country, right? Who just feel like it's no big deal. We're going to insure them. We're going to give them licenses. We're going to allow them to do whatever they want. Just come here. We'll protect you at all costs. Even if you've got a killer among you, don't worry. We'll protect everybody. We're going to fight, resist, and do all of that because you aren't here illegally. You are just a displaced nomad. At some point in time, we stand up and say, you know what? All right, we've had enough. We've had enough. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. There's a twist in the Smollett case. Oh, kids, this one's great. And his attorney she's going on every single show, every place she possibly can to talk about what a victim he is. And now the newest twist, kids. Oh, good times.
Why did he say that? He could have said, I don't know.
He could have, but this, again, he's being
truthful. But if it's the Osundairo brothers, what are the chances that that's the case, that he saw somebody with light skin?
Well, I think there's, obviously you can disguise that. You could put makeup on. There is actually, interestingly enough, a video. I think police did minimal investigation in this case. It took me all of 5 minutes to Google. I was looking up the brothers, and one of the first videos that showed up actually was one of the brothers in whiteface doing a Joker monologue with white makeup on. And so it's not implausible.
So that's it now. So, by the way, the attorney for the brothers quit. I can't. They've changed the story. They've disappeared. It's getting really weird. This is going to blow up in a lot of people's faces because the DOJ and the FBI are looking at this. And I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. It's not whether or not this all went away that bugs people, right? Because most people I know, you shouldn't have gone to jail for it. You turned it into a hate thing. That's a thing that you need to deal with the left side of the aisle that is going to be upset about that. And the fact that, some people on the right are pissed because you made it out to be that, you've got these guys in MAGA hats roaming the street looking for gay black actors to beat up. It's the attitude of you're still a victim and screw you guys. That's the problem that people have with it. Most people would have thought, "Oof, I got away with something. I'm just going to keep my head down and my nose clean, and I'm not going to bug anybody and just do my thing." But instead, it's you cruising around, you're walking around, just acting, your head held high, like, yeah, I was a victim, but I survived it, and here we go, and look over there. You're the idiot, right, that robs a bank, who's broke as a joke, and the next day you buy a Ferrari and you can't really justify why you did it, and everybody starts going, something feels a bit fishy. That's the problem that people have. You got away with something, and now you're acting still as if you're the victim, and you're still throwing people under the bus, even talking about suing the police. Going to get ugly. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet us. Interesting article I read today in the New York Times talking now, the New York Times, we talk about this, and I've been saying this. Healthcare is going to be a big issue. The immigration is going to be a massive issue. But the reality is the issue that matters to most people is the economy. If the economy sucks, even if Trump had done nothing, they didn't even investigate. If he had done none of these things, there wasn't anything at all. No Russiagate, none of this stuff. If the economy takes a giant, he's going to pay the price for it come election time. And they're just trying to say, well, now it's Trump's economy. I said, so wait a minute. When it was Russia, it was Obama's economy. Now that that's gone and dusted, it's Trump's economy. Anyway, by any means, that's why you've got people like Bill Maher who's come on before and said, hey, the best thing that we can do is we go into a massive recession and that we get this guy out. There are people that wish that hope and pray that. The disdain for him is so great. And the people that wish, hope, and pray that are people that, recession or no recession, they'll be fine. They don't care if you're hurt because they know they'll be fine. And it's just funny the way that it's starting to be framed now with, okay, it's his economy. Here we go. For better or worse. Well, if it gets better, I guarantee you'll give no credit. If it gets worse, everything's his fault. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. And I'll know, oh, yeah, well, what about Obama? I said, you know what? I stood up for Obama for the first 2 years because of what he was saddled with. But at some point in time, along the way, it started to become his economy, and the things that he did affected the economy and didn't help us get out of the recession fast enough. But I didn't saddle with it's all, this is his from day one. No. But the reality is after a while, it did become his economy. And the same thing with Trump. And it's odd that now that the Russia thing is over, it looks like out of that comes nothing. So now it's, well, for better or worse, it's his. I guarantee if tomorrow we take off and we grow exponentially at rates we haven't seen in decades, they're not going to give him credit for that. They'll find another way. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Shows your Twitter. Hey, credit cards. Man, those things can add up, especially when you've got high interest rates. Get out of those things. Get a credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream. I'll tell you right now, just getting that rate down to something manageable will save you so much money. How about this? Rates as low as 6.14% APR with autopay. Loans as high as $100,000 with no fees. You can even get the money as early as the same day you apply. They're part of SunTrust Bank, one of the nation's largest financial institutions. They're amazing. They're going to treat you great. And my listeners will get an additional discount rate. This is how you do it. You go to lightstream.com/Benson. That's lightstream.com/Benson. Check it out. See what they've got for you. Get those rates down to something manageable. You will absolutely appreciate what you're saving and how you can start then putting away and doing other things with that. Subject to credit approval. Rates include 0.50% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Benson for more information. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Deep states? No. Deep doo-doo? Yeah. The Chad Benson Show.
Jackson delivers in the pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back is Acuna. He looks up. It's gone. A grand Grand slam.
Oh, baseball. Can you guys smell that? Oh. I got to be honest. I sat and I watched most of the Phillies game today. And first they booed Bryce Harper. Man, Philadelphia is one of those places. They booed Mike Schmidt. They booed Santa Claus. They booed. You hear people screaming. By the fourth inning, people are drunk. He strikes out. You hear people go, "Get back the money!" But it's just cool. I was watching the game, and it's just like, it's nice. It's just sunny day. You know, everybody's got optimism. Like, hey, we're 0-0. We got a chance here, 162 games. You never know what's going to happen. And it's just, oh, man. It's nice. Just the feel of the spring. There's just a little warmth in the air. Like, here comes summer. For a lot of you, you're very excited. And we've had just, here in, AZ, we've just had beautiful sunshine most of the time. A little bit of rain. What are you going to be this weekend, Phil? What are you guys getting up to out there?
I think we're going to a concert out down in Manassas.
Is it going to be warm?
Yeah, it's supposed to be gorgeous.
Yeah, see, we're going to be 87. I'll be in San Diego, but still it's going to be 70. It's gorgeous, just gorgeous. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Everybody's mad at Trump and Betsy DeVos because they're supposed to cut funding for the Special Olympics, and he spoke about that today.
The Special Olympics will be funded. I just told my people I want to fund the Special Olympics. And I've just authorized a funding of the Special Olympics.
There you go. So, because it turned into a spectacle, it's $18 million. Why not? I wish he would have just said, you know what, I'm going to write them a check from $18 million myself so we can all just shut up now and move on. Like, that would have been a good thing to do. But what? Huh? Yeah. What do you guys got to say? I wrote them an $18 million check. All right, so we're just going to deal with it. Somebody shut your pie hole, but he didn't. But they will be funded. $18 million. That's what they're getting. It's not $500 million. It was $18 million. I still think if you would have done it correctly, you could have brought in so much corporate money. Dwarf that $18 million. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
I do not think that conduct, criminal or not, is okay. And the day we do think that's okay is the day we will look back and say that is the day America lost its way.
Adam Schiff.
That'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes,
that'll be the day. Adam Schiff, brains. Chad. He is, he's just awful. I have to be honest. And I was telling Phil, and I've talked to several people today, including Congressman Andy Biggs, and I said, doesn't he just look like a guy? He's no lips. He looks like a guy that's just an awful character actor. It's just going to ruin everything. Like Ferris Bueller's trying to get away, and here comes Adam Schiff to ruin the day. Right? He's the guy. He's always that swarmy character. He's Frank Burns from MASH. Little swarmy, just ruining everything. He's not going to let it go. He is not going to let it go. And they are coming after him. And he still believes there's just nothing. He does not believe in any way, shape, or form that Trump got there without cheating it. And Republicans are fighting back. Republicans who are standing up and saying, you know what, sorry, we're not buying this anymore. You know, you didn't want to believe the Mueller report. You found out about 3-4 weeks ago. You kind of knew what was coming. And then last Friday, it got delivered. You got the little 4-page thing. It's 300 pages, by the way. So I don't know what people thought. It's 300 pages. And all we got was 4 pages. Well, they have to go through that. They're going to have to redact some stuff. Some stuff because of law, grand jury. Things that cannot be released. The Democrats know that. They have to go through and make sure, check with several agencies about security risks in some way, shape, or form. Are you guys good? Are we good with this? And there are people in there that, because of association, were accused of things or potentially have embarrassing things in there. They have to redact that to make sure that nobody's hurt. And then it'll be released. And then out it'll go. And they're still not going to believe it. They're still not going to believe it. And people are like, look, you know what? This guy, he really, he wants him. That's all he thinks about.
We've watched somebody in this body do this before. Senator Joe McCarthy, who had a gavel, who accused people of communism. When people stood up to him, he attacked them, their own members. We made a commitment in Congress that we would not allow that to continue. The Democrats are allowing that today.
Listen to this. He feels like he forgot where he was.
Their own members. We made a commitment.
Who are we?
In Congress.
Oh, yeah. Congress, we did. Yeah. Kevin McCarthy there. I don't know. There's just nothing. Some people are just not going to give it up. Listen to this lady last night. I mean, this is a person who believes that everything about this guy, Trump, is bad and evil. And I get a bunch of text messages over and over again about how bad and evil. And no matter what comes out of it, no matter how many times, it's the same way that the right felt about Hillary, that something had to have happened. The emails, Benghazi, there's got to be something. But listen to this lady last night ask a question to Cory Booker.
I believe the current president, the most corrupt and dangerous in history.
That's all I believe. But what if it's not? What if you believe, based on the things that you've read, based on the fact that those things were fed to people over and over and over and over again, all of these little, well, it's this and my source says this and because you want it. And the media, by the way, the media is taking a hit. The media that's come hard after Trump has really taken a hit. Rachel Maddow, who did pretty well, she's down about 30% in her audience. Cuomo and Anderson, they're under 1 million now. The other MSNBC hosts are down big time. And who's up? Hannity's up. Hannity's over 4 million. Tucker's at 3.8 million. Ingram's at 3.2 million, the biggest they've been. What do you say? And the same thing with, you saw a lot of people, who went after Fox when at times they failed in so many other things, and people just got sick and tired of it. And I think this will have somewhat of a backlash. And what does that do for the media? Because they're trying to change the narrative now because they need something to talk about. So there's got to be something there. There's got to be something else we can talk about. What can we talk? I don't know. But there's got to be something here. There's got to be something there. There just has to be. So what? 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from each and every single one of you. So Jesse Smollett of the Smollett Show. This is interesting. Apparently Rahm Emanuel now wants he wants $130,000. Because they're looking at the man hours and they're just trying to come up with a number. About 130 G's will be okay. You come up with $130, maybe we'll call it even. They're coming. Department of Justice, FBI, there are going to be some people that could potentially pay a price, and some of that may be money. Absolutely may be money. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. This was something that's flying around the interwebs now that's going viral, and it is, I'm going to play it. It's Alex Jones. He was out to dinner with his wife or his girlfriend, and I think it was Joe Rogan and his wife, and they were at a restaurant, Lucy's. It's a chicken restaurant, and it's just a very interesting thing listening to this. But when I describe what I think is happening now more and more each and every single day, I think people will start to realize that it's not so much about the cause as it's about the views.
You're a bunch of wimps. You're a bunch of cowards. You think getting in my face makes me feel bad? These people are all sick of your shit. They're Americans. They're not traitors or scum like you. No, you're the one acting all powerful. You're the one telling people eat shit. You ain't nothing, boy. I know, Jack. I was already you leaving?
Get back to your apology tour.
Yeah, my apology tour? It never been more successful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you support censorship? You're not an American? Look at this guy. All of them getting in my face.
Yeah, when you listen to that, the first thing that comes to my mind when you see the video is how many other people are videoing it. And I think we're at the point now where it's confrontainment is what I call it, where you don't care what you're talking about. You're not sold for something. You may look at him and think, he's, I'm no fan of Alex Jones. What do you mean you're no fan of me? I'm telling you now. I mean, I'm no fan of him. But the confrontainment that goes on, because people now, and it doesn't matter if it's Alex Jones, you can put anybody in there, anybody in there, in particular, any politician. And the whole thing is, I want to raise my profile. How can I get something to go viral? Well, I'll confront somebody. You don't care about 99% of the stuff. It's more about what? It's more about getting views. It's more about getting likes. It's more about getting things like that. That's what it is anymore. It's people are, hey, I got a great idea. I'm going to confront this person because I don't like them. Film it. Film it. And then because if you watch this, there's 5-6 people besides Alex Jones who's filming the people filming him as the thing goes on, because it makes for a situation where he can go and martyr himself. And you can tell that it feels very hokey. It just feels like it's very, and you see it now with politicians and all kinds of where people, you feel like, oh, we're just raising my profile as I charge in and take something on. But if you're serious about changing things, you do it. Now, like for Alex Jones, he is who he is. But I have a lot of friends in this business, and a lot of friends in the entertainment world, and some are uber progressive and some are uber conservative. And you get to a point where, especially with the uber conservative side of things, where they're high profile, and the reality is they've built themselves a bubble. They don't go outside of their little areas. They stay inside of their echo chambers, because even quietly they have friends who may be, quote unquote, on the other side of the political aisle. But for all intents and purposes, you just can't, because the confrontation. And when they do go out, some of them, they go out with bodyguards. I'm sorry. I don't, that's just not something I would enjoy at all. There is nothing about that sounds appealing at all. Hey, I got a great idea. I will get to the point where I can't even go out, even just to run down to the street to have dinner, get my favorite pizza joint, because the potential of confrontation is nutty. And I've talked to Ben Ferguson. Ben and I talked about it when he was on a plane. He said this is pretty much like somewhat of it, especially when there's a gun thing, or Dana. Last time I saw Dana, what does she have? She's got bodyguards. She's got people sweeping the place before she goes up and does essentially an hour-long fireside chat about talk radio. That's no way that you want to live, but that's what a lot of people go through. And there is that take, and the give is I'm giving up something, but my take is I'm going to get paid decently for it. But there's nothing about that seems appealing. There's just nothing. I don't care. And again, I see people all the time. I would never confront somebody like that. If you're serious about an issue, you take it up with them. But understand that these things, they almost at times feel staged. It's crazy. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Tweet it out earlier. I just find catch and release just so ridiculous. And some people are like, well, what are they supposed to do? And we're talking to Andy Biggs, Congressman Biggs. I don't know if people realize this. Here's the thing. The wall, unless it's built on Mexico's property, right? Unless it's built on the Mexican side. If it's built on the American side, once they get on that wall, essentially they're in America. Essentially, they can ask for asylum. And based on the current laws that we have to give it to them. and then they'll have the court date, and then we have to release them. So they just have to get to the wall. We won't actually stop anybody. That's insane. Insane. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show, Twitter. Tweet at us. Can't wait. I'm traveling this weekend, but man, I tell you what, I got these Giza sheets. Got a couple of them from MyPillow. They're so amazing. Hotel I'm staying at this weekend has decent sheets. The one I stayed at last night, it was awful. It was the best way to describe it. I had my go anywhere pillow, so it was good. I slept well, but still, it was like I had to like check and like, did I get cut there? It's how bad they are. Giza sheets are amazing. This cotton is grown in a small area near the Mediterranean. And the way that they put these sheets together, you're going to slide into it's like $1 million. You know when you buy some and you're like, this is nice. That's what these are. These sheets are incredible. And I will tell you this right now. They're not going to pop off. They got deep pockets. You're going to love them. Made right here in the USA, 100% machine washable and dryable cotton. Get your Giza cotton sheets today, 800-983-4975. Or go to MyPillow.com when you do use promo code Benson. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. 800-983-4975. Remember to use the promo code Benson. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, where we reach across the aisle and occasionally poke someone in the eye.
If you're broke and you need a job, NASA's hiring 12 women, 12 men, $18,500. What do you have to do? Simple and easy. You have to stay in bed, watch TV, read books for a couple months. Period. That's it. Case closed. It's not bad, right? It's good work if you can get it. So 2 months, $9,250 a month. And you got to do it, looks like, in their area, and they're going to try to mimic space conditions. They want to see what it's going to be like on the human body and how the body changes and experiences in a situation, where you're laying down for up to 2 months. So they said humans are made to live on Earth without the constant pull of gravity. It's common for muscles and bones to start wasting away. They want to see what that will look like. Half of them will be spun for short durations in the laboratory centrifuge. These conditions will push the blood back into their extremities, much like artificial gravity would for astronauts. So that'll be very interesting. But it's $18,000 if you can get the gig. So check it out. See if you can get that gig there. You want to go to space, Phil? This is your chance, man. It's pretend space, but it's a start.
Heck, that's my lifestyle now.
Yeah, I know, right? There's some people out there like, I could totally do that. Can I play video games? It's like, that's my dream. And my mom said I couldn't do anything. Oh, you could do something. You could do something, kids, huh? You just set a dream and you just keep to it. This is funny. So the Financial Samurai, Sam Duggan from the Financial Samurai, breaks down the budget of two New York City-based spouses. So what he did was he broke down a budget of what they call the average budget for, the Manhattanites, if you will. So you got two people married, right? Could be husband and husband, could be wife and wife, but we'll just go with husband and wife here, for the sake of it. Both have good jobs, very good jobs, and how, they make $500,000 a year between the two of them. And the way they break it down is how they don't look like they can get ahead. So the $500,000, each of them contribute $18,000 to their 401ks. So $18,000 to their 401ks. After contributions, they have $464,000. After the 40% effective tax rate, it nets their salary at $278,000 a year. So $278,000. We'll just give you a breakdown of that here on the Chad Benson Show. So essentially about $23,166 and some change a month. Okay. And then it breaks down their expenses. And at the end of the year, they had $7,300 left over after all of their expenses. But here are some of their expenses. And that's why people are making fun of them. Child care is $42,000. It's New York. It's expensive. Food for four, including date nights every couple of weeks, $23,000. A mortgage is $60,000. Home maintenance $5,000. Property taxes $20,000. Property insurance, and remember it's New York, so it's not like you're getting a 6-bedroom, 8-bath home with a pool and a jacuzzi. You're probably getting, something okay. 3 vacations a year is one of the $18,000. Car payment, BMW 5 Series, Toyota Land Cruiser, $9,600. Right? So, and it just breaks stuff down. Miscellaneous, they say, $10,000. Undergraduate and graduate student loans, $32,000. Charity, they give to charity, by the way, $18,000. That's good. Lessons in sports, this I agree with, it's $12,000. Man, lessons are expensive, and lessons in sports and tutoring, and this is where the privilege comes in. But people are making fun of who takes 3 vacations a year. Yeah, but I don't know who does. I don't, but I will tell you, like when it comes to sports and stuff, hell yeah. $12,000's not bad for all of that stuff when you add it all up. If you have kids in sports, you know how expensive and how fast it can rack it up. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us, Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
I briefed the media and testified in Congress that our immigration system was at the breaking point. That breaking point has arrived this week at our border. CBP is facing an unprecedented humanitarian and border security crisis all along our southwest border. On Monday and Tuesday, CBP started the day with over 12,000 migrants in our custody. As of this morning, that number was 13,400. A high number for us is 4,000.
Yeah. According to new data, we could add 1.2 million people this year alone that aren't supposed to be here. That's a lot, right? Like, if we all agree that's a lot. If 1.2 million people came to the border right now and tried to come over, we would say this is an invasion. Well, Chad, you can't use that word invasion. Because when you do, it's got negative connotation. It's very xenophobic. And 1.2 million, right, coming over the border at once, the country to be like, we're going to build a really, really big wall. We're all going to help. Everybody. Right, left, black, white, gay, straight. We're all doing it. You would say that. Well, you can't say. Let me tell you something. If you fill up a bathtub with huge buckets and it fills up, or with a little bit of a small Dixie cup and you just keep pouring water in there and eventually gets to the top, it still fills itself up, right? That's what I'm saying. It's just inch by inch, inch by inch, inch by inch. And we're not doing anything about it. I spoke to Congressman Biggs earlier today from Arizona. What did he say? He said, hey, even if we build this wall, which is one of the things, we got to build it on the other side. Because if we don't build it on their side, we build it on the American side, and they get to the wall and they get on top of the wall, guess what? They're on American soil. If they're on American soil, you know what that means? Catch and release, silent. We got to change that law too. It is not going to plan for us. I was hoping we would have some people, and I was foolish, right? I was optimistic. I want to be optimistic because I think things are great. Things are going well. I feel like the country is, I think we got this weird cloud of uncertainty for the average person. It's over, it's done. We're all moving on. There just seems to be a little bit brighter, a little bit shinier, a little bit bouncier. Let's start getting to work. Let's see what happens here. Let's see where we're going. And I'd like to see infrastructure. I'd love to see healthcare. We're going to talk on that. I mean, they're coming. The fight for healthcare is going to be going on and on and on. It is. Right? But I want to see this dealt with. Absolutely dealt with. And it's got to be a big, big sweeping thing because it has been left so long that anything but something big and sweeping, it's still going to be the exact same.
The last time we had crossings near this level, they were almost all single adults from Mexico who could be swiftly repatriated. There's a big difference. In March, almost 40,000 children will come into CBP's custody after making a harrowing journey in the hands of violent and callous human smugglers through Mexico. While 65% of crossings are now families and children who most often present themselves to Border Patrol agents, 35% are still single adults who try apprehension at our border. And within that flow are thousands of criminals, smugglers, gang members, and public safety threats that we're sworn to protect this country from.
Yeah. That right there is the guy that runs the whole skedaddle. That's Commissioner Kevin McKillanan, El Paso nation's top border security agent. He's in El Paso. He's the top border security agent. It's nuts. You break an arm, it's not an emergency, but you need to deal with it. You leave it, it becomes an emergency. That's where we're headed. That's absolutely where we're headed. And it's frustrating. And the catch and release thing still boggles my mind. Still does. Boggles my mind. So many people come here. They have no plan. They know one or two people, or maybe they have some family here. They know that services in certain areas are going to be provided for them. The services that they put, that's where it really hits people. And it's not the nationwide thing when you look at it. It's the services in the communities that are already stretched too thin that really feel the brunt of illegal immigration. The pressure it puts on those services. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I wanted to have optimism that they'll get stuff done, but the politics is just so important to them, more important than the people and more important than the solution. It's only when they feel threatened to lose everything that they act, and that's on us as individuals because we're not putting the pressure on the people to do the right thing. We can have empathy, absolutely. Got zero problem with empathy, but you got to do things the right way. We'd all, if we were in that same position, every one of us would be going, I got to get over there. I got to get over there. Got to help take care of my family. Got to help take care of my kids. I get that. But asylum is not because your ass is broke in another country and they're a mess. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. The battle of pre-existing conditions, Obamacare, where we go from here is just heating up big time.
Make this promise to you, and it's a conversation I have with the president. The Republicans will make sure pre-existing conditions are protected.
All right. Kevin McCarthy right there. Yeah, we're doing it. We're promising you this. We're promising that is going to happen.
We will take care of pre-existing conditions better than they're taken care of now. And I've already gotten rid of the individual mandate, which was the worst part of Obamacare.
That frustrated a lot of people, but that's the thing that made Obamacare go. And can we just be honest with ourselves? It is helped a few. It has hurt more than it's helped. And this is where the ego side of it is, right? You know, because this is one of those big legislation pieces that you look back and you go, oh my God, if we got rid of this, what happens? Look, it could unravel. It could absolutely unravel, and it could look ugly. The Republicans have to be wary of what the potential is, and I'm okay with putting pressure on them if you're the president to get something done. But, and this is a big but, if you're the Democrats, you look around, it hasn't worked the way you said it was going to. It was never set up to be anything more than a law that could withstand challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge. Wasn't meant to, it slowed some stuff down, but by and large, it has eliminated choice in a lot of areas. It has frustrated people. Deductibles are through the roof. Premiums are through the roof. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And the overregulation of everything is even causing things to be far worse. It's time that we say this didn't work like we thought, but you can't do that. And you're also protecting a legacy, right? You're protecting a legacy. and that's vitally important. But how do you expect our politicians to get anything done when you hear things like this?
The Trump administration radically expanded its war on America's health care this week.
So we've radically expanded the war, is what she's saying about the Trump administration. We're radically expanding the war. I'm Trump. The war is coming. Listen to that again.
The Trump administration radically expanded its war on America's health care this week. Hard to explain, but who knows? Asking the court to strike down every last provision of the Affordable Care Act.
Hard to explain, but who knows? Who cares? I don't know. Is this politics? Well, as long as it's politics, that's really all that matters. It's politics. Politics matters most. It's politics. And here's what politics says. Politics, 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 and more politics, 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 and a little bit more politics, politics, politics. It's not helping. It's not. It's not. We've got to do better. Between immigration, we need infrastructure. There would be something you think, we can get this done. It's infrastructure. We both want this and put some people back to work. It is a good thing. It's a great thing. This is something that would be good. But you're not going to get that. You're not. Because that's a smart, easy thing to do. And if you're on one side, the last thing you want to do is give the other side a victory. Couldn't operate a business this way. It would fall apart so fast. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. I didn't win.
Jackpot. $768.4 million. The lone winning Powerball ticket sold in New Berlin, Wisconsin. Lottery officials making the announcement after the drawing. The jackpot, $768 million with a cash option of $477 million. It's the third largest in U.S. lottery history, and it's the first time since December 26th there has been a match for all 6 numbers. It's also the largest pot since the $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot late last year. No word on who holds the winning ticket.
It's not Chad. It's not Phil. Not that, well, Phil, you've already said you would still come to work until you get your blind trust set up or whatever it is that you're
right,
going to do.
And no one will ever see me again.
Yeah. So, and then I would come to work all the time because I just would. I like what I do. I love what I do. I'm still going to do it. So I would still show up every day. I mean, like today would have been like a day of just braggadociousness. I might have come in a helicopter or something like that, riding a llama, an alpaca. What's up? These are my war alpacas. It's good money, though, right? Somebody was at New Berlin. Not the old Berlin, but the New Berlin won it. Yeah, somebody won it there. Oh, good for them. It's a lot of money. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? And we've talked about the smart thing to do with it, which is just little bits and pieces of to different financial people. Set yourself up in such a way that you don't ever have to worry again. Take care of the family, the kids, the whole 9 yards, and have that fun money. Got to have that fun money. Got to have the fun money. So you get it out of your system. My friend worked at Winchell's Donuts, and the first couple days she worked there, they said, eat all the donuts you want. And so she ate all the donuts in the world. But like the third day, she's like, I don't ever want to eat a donut again. So you got to do that. You got to have a little bit of that fun money just to get it out of your system. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Oh, do you guys smell that? That's peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
This ball's poked to center. It's got a chance. Kiermaier back. He's on the warning track and center. It's gone. George Springer.
Yeah. Major League Baseball's back in full swing.
Goes up 3-zip.
And the Dodgers doing what Dodgers do. It's going to be exciting this year. I'm excited. I do. I love baseball. And it's that anticipation, right? The anticipation of we got 162 games. We got a chance. Anybody, we got a chance. By about the third week, you're like, we're done. I don't know what I'm going to do on vacation. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Great organization. They're called AMAC. Work with them. They founded about a decade ago. Take on ARP. It's a left-leaning Goliath. AMAC's less than $20 a year. So cheap. And what you get back from them, benefits-wise, it's 10 times that every year alone. Plus, they go out and they're fighting for you right now for the repeal and replace of Obamacare. They're fighting for you for common sense immigration reform, and they're giving you benefits that include travel discounts, competitively priced insurance, retail, restaurant, hotel discounts, roadside assistance discounts. You name it, they've got it. But this is what they're doing for my listeners. That's you guys out there. How about this? The first year's on me. It's free. They don't even want your credit card. You just go to amac.us/Chad, amac.us/Chad. There's no tricks or no cost, no credit card required. Just the time it takes for you to sign up. You're going to love what they do for you. amac.us/Chad or call 888-355-1668. That's 888-355-1668. Or again, online at amac.us/Chad. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Got that sniffling, sneezing, stuffy head thing going on? Time for your daily dose of Vitamin Chad.
Brian Anderson's tale is a cautionary one. He didn't want to work his shift at a fast food restaurant in Dundee, Florida. The 32-year-old Anderson called 911 and said he'd been robbed at gunpoint. Polk County Sheriff's deputies showed up in force. A canine unit was called in. Even the department's helicopter scoured the scene from above. But deputies say Anderson eventually admitted he made the whole thing up. That landed him in jail. One thing did turn out in his favor, though. He got the day off from work.
You don't have a better bad idea than this?
This is the best bad idea we have, sir. By far.
People are so stupid. How bad do you... It's a fast food, man. I don't want to go to work. What happened to calling in sick? Right? I mean, oh my God. Could you... People are so stupid. Oh, where do you think this took place? Oh, Florida. That's right. Where does all... Speaking of bad ideas at times, right? Florida just... There's a reason in Florida, man. They just embrace it. They embrace it. Arizona's becoming the Florida of the West. Germany is the Florida of Europe. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. It's just so... I don't even know what to say. I just what's the best way that you've called in sick? I was just thinking to myself, I can't even remember, calling in sick for, where I wasn't sick. I just always went to work. And sometimes you have to miss something. But I think when you show up enough, right, they're cool with you missing every once in a while. But that's just insane. Hey, I'm going to say I got robbed. We'll see how this goes.
Chaos at major airports around the world. Hundreds of travelers, many Americans, stranded from Toronto to New York to Berlin after the budget airline WOW Air, known for those bright purple planes, suddenly closed up shop. The Icelandic airline was small but popular because of its low prices, less than $100 one way. But it had been struggling for months, failing to raise enough money to keep going. Now all 11 planes are permanently grounded in North America and Europe.
That was going to die. You predicted that the other day, Phil. It was like $39 to go to Scotland.
$39 to Scotland one way. Yes, it was $250 on the way back, but you had to stop over in Iceland.
It was never going to last. It is the movie pass of the air. Just bleeding money. The good news is that all 11 planes are on the ground and they're safe. The bad news is that they're not going to be flying anytime soon. So, wow, air indeed. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from each and every one of us. Check out the Instagram as well. It is the Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
I don't want to speak badly about the new Green Deal because, frankly, I'm afraid that they'll stop using it because I really do want to, campaign against it. It's ridiculous. All right, it's crazy. And it'll cost $100 trillion. Nobody knows what that means. That means it's more money than you have in the world. And it will be catastrophic. It's not going to happen. It's just talk.
Yeah, it's just talk, but it's fun talk, right? And this is the one thing that I think the Democrats are going to struggle with is how to deal with these things that are front and center, that the AOC and the progressives, they all sound like they're great ideas. And they all sound wonderful. Who doesn't want everybody to have housing? Who doesn't want everybody to have everything they've always wanted? Who doesn't want a better environment? We all do, but all of those things come at a price. And when you're running in 2020, if you're on the Democratic side, you've got to pick and choose the battles that you're going to have. And knowing full well that Trump is going to turn the Green New Deal into a battle of socialism is going to be hilarious. It is. It absolutely is. Some of them are running as socialists. They're running as socialists. And the only country in the world that you can look at that has some freedoms and socialism is Venezuela. And people say, well, that's not fair to bring up. Why is it not fair to bring up? You're calling yourself a socialist. You're talking about a lot of the same ideas that have gone into Venezuela. And you don't want it to be a part of what you talk about. And you say, well, no, we're talking about Norway and Denmark. No, they're not socialist. Those are market economies with just high taxes. Just say that. No, because it's more than that.
Of course, they'll campaign on it. They'll say, we're going to give free everything. You're going to end up being Venezuela if that's happening. We have a nice big problem with Venezuela. You look at Venezuela, it was a wealthy country not long ago, and now it's one of the poorest countries. We'll end up being the same thing.
Yeah. It's possible if you went that way, but you're not going to go that way. The reality is the only person that when I look at somebody like Bernie, who has all this passion, but this guy is, think about who he is. Think about who he is and who through the years he has cozied up with or admired, right? Central American dictators. Let's remember where he went for his honeymoon, right? Like he went to the Soviet Union, not Russia, the Soviet Union back when it was. Let's remember that he's talked good in the past about the likes of Castro, and he's admired a good portion of what they have done. The thought process has always been for somebody like that is it's always about the people. The reality is, and you and I both know this, it's about the power, not the people. You use the people to get the power, and then after that, the people, you don't care about the people. People mean nothing to you at that point in time, right? They're just the vehicle that gets you to where you want to go. They are the Uber and Lyft of politics for a lot of these people. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from each and every one of you. Man, I tell you what, Cory Booker last night was interesting. Speaking of somebody's running in 2020, and one of those first things, here's a guy who's running in 2020. Everybody I know that is has a skin in the game, if you will, for politics, whether they're part of the Republican or Democratic machine or they're politicians themselves, when they look at the people and the candidates they're running, they're looking at them with not how will you take each other on, because that means very little, right? That means very little. They look and they think, how do you look on stage against Trump? What do you look like compared to Trump? What does this look like on stage in a debate against Trump? And they play the scenario out. Last night, Booker had his CNN town hall opportunity. One of the first things brought up was simply impeachment.
I believe the current president, the most corrupt and dangerous in history, I believe he should be impeached regardless of whether Mueller's report provides a smoking gun.
So I understand your sense of urgency and even your sense of disgust about seeing what's coming from the White House. Can't even condemn Nazis. In the last budget, literally trying to cut from billions of dollars out of our Medicare and Medicaid programs after saying publicly that I wasn't going to cut them. It seems like every day that I wake up, it's not just the toxic Twitter trolling and trash talking. It's actually policies that are really hurting people.
So he's got to try to come and have a stage presence. You listen to that, and do think about it, not against Elizabeth Warren, who's just, she doesn't matter. She doesn't. The reality is Bernie kind of matters. Biden potentially matters. Booker thinks he's got something in this. I will tell you this. If I'm the Democrats right now, I'm looking around. I'm thinking, okay, there's Beto O'Rourke, right? What is this guy about? He seems to be like, and not measuring his substance, but measuring the style of which this is going to go. Booker, Peter Buttigieg, who is the guy that I look over on the left and I say, I'm interested in what he has to say. Yesterday, he was talking about, and he said, here's a mayor of South Bend who Obama's gotten behind, by the way, long before it was cool, right? It's like when you go see that band before they were cool. I remember him. He was on this guy, and this guy is very, very interesting, and he is climbing up the polls fast. He's 37. He's gay. That'll come up. To me, doesn't matter. What matters is, are you competent to do the job? What do you look like on stage next to Trump if you're a Democrat? But it will come up. Served in Iraq, and he's a bright dude, and he's not one of these, I'm running on this crazy ticket, I've got to kiss the ring of the Green New Deal, because he's not part of the political apparatus in D.C., which I think in a weird way helps him.
When I was a young nominee for state treasurer and watching as a Democrat on the ticket how we were getting absolutely beat up. I mean, healthcare, the ACA was a toxic issue for Democrats. And then by 2018, it was the winning issue for Democrats. What happened in those years? Well, it's very simple. The bill was actually implemented, and people liked it. You know, back in 2010, they're talking about all these theoretical things that might be like death panels. By 2018, in the town halls that happened then, you had regular Americans getting in the faces of members of Congress saying, this is what this bill has done to make my life better.
Yeah, for some people it has. But you hear him there. He sounds cogent. He makes an argument. He is strong in what he does, and there's something about him that I really, really like. And this is that kind of unknown thing. And here's the other thing about him that I find to be very interesting is he is striking while the iron's hot, and he's keeping the iron hot. Getting in and knowing when to get in is really important. Obama knew when to get in. He jumped in, and when he jumped in with both feet, and this is what I'm doing. And he went for it. Clinton did the same thing. They went for it. Trump, when he jumped in, I think he wanted to make some noise, but when he realized he had a chance to do some stuff, he always kept the iron hot. A lot of times what happens is people get in, they have a moment or two where it starts to work, and then they don't really figure out how to capitalize on that, and it falters. Or the other side of things is when people try to jump in, they jump in at the wrong time, right? It's like, remember when you were a kid and you go to the thing and there's that merry-go-round at the park and everybody, you'd run and you'd all jump on it and hold on to it? You got to know exactly when to get on at the right time. And every once in a while, people don't get in there on the right time, and boom. So you listen to Buttigieg, I just find him to be interesting. I want to see when he's going to get his town hall because he's a very interesting guy. But you listened to Cory Booker last night, and you know, he's got a lot of criticism because he's like a lot of these, which I think a lot of people are starting to realize is it's style over any kind of substance, right? Because you're going to have people behind you crafting your message. You're going to have people. I think anymore to be a politician, it's as much about playing a part than it is anything else. You're on stage. You believe these things. It took you to get here. You're a player in the game. But it's about selling the message of the many on your side. You have to have the person that's going to sell that message. And how do you do that? That's why style is far more important. And now more than anything, when you get on that stage, and it is a stage now, and it's a debate, and we're not talking about how are they going to fare off against each other. I have no idea. But I'm looking at the long game. How do they fare off against the guy that is in the White House?
People just want to defeat Trump in 2020. And are critical of your approach for campaigning on love and unity. What do you say to those people?
I am so grateful for this question because I do hear it from time to time, even from some of my friends. But let's just first say that we all agree about the urgency of this moment to beat Donald Trump. You see, Donald Trump wants us to fight him on his terms. To me, that is not only a recipe for losing the election. It's a recipe for losing the ability to move this country forward.
Yeah. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. When it comes to him, if you're looking from the outside and saying, what's that like on stage? You put Trump, you put him, put them in front of a crowd. Trump feeds off the hate, and he can run in the crowd when he gets it on his side. There's something about that. And I will continue to say this over and over again. What happens in the economy over the next 2 years will truly decide who's the president. If the economy stays strong, if the economy stays hot, if the economy stays the way it's been, doesn't matter who you run. They're not going to win. If the economy falters, it's wide open, and that person has a real chance. But the economy will be the ultimate decider. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from each and every one of you. So Trump said today about this whole thing with the Special Olympics. And, here's the perfect example of the political side of just what politics is. Trump's budget is more of a wish list, things that aren't really going to happen because in the end, Congress controls the purse strings, the whole 9 yards. So you got to go out there and you got to defend your budget. Betsy DeVos is out there. And the whole thought process of this whole thing with the Special Olympics is, look what we're going to do. We're going to damn you along the way because you guys are cutting some of the Special Olympics. And we've got to make sure that we play this for everybody to hear how horrible you are for taking it away.
That is just disgusting and it's shameful. And
well, Madam Secretary, let me tell you what. Eliminating $18 million out of an $70 or $80 billion budget, I think is shameful too.
Yeah. Well, Trump overrode that, and it was never going to happen anyways. Congress was never going to approve that, right? And it's a small portion of the budget. It was never going to happen. Agencies sometimes have to make decisions. The beauty of government is you're supposed to govern and you're supposed to make decisions, right? We've entrusted you with this, and you make hard decisions. I have two little brothers competing in the Special Olympics. It's an amazing organization. If the $18 million went away, do I think the Special Olympics is going away? No. But it became something that it's all about going and finding that thing that you can get the aha moment. And that's the political world that we live in. The aha moment. What can I catch you on that's going to raise my profile, that's potentially going to damage you, but in the end, nothing's really going to come out of it other than my 30-second soundbite that whips around and potentially goes viral. That's what, for a lot of people, this is all about anymore. Soundbite, very little else. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from you. Off tomorrow. I'm excited going to SeaWorld again. Jack and I are going to go have a lot of fun at SeaWorld. Whole fan family is going to go there. We're going to have a good time. We're going to see. It's neat because when you have passes, and you learn this, when you've got passes, we're going to talk about Disneyland here in a little bit. When you have passes to things like that, because we're down there so much, and that's where Jack lives, you can pick and choose the things you want to see. So you don't have to try to squeeze everything into that day, which I think is great. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Check out the Instagram as well. And check out the chadshow.com. You can grab your podcast and everything there. 70% of guys don't talk about that big elephant in the room, that issue in the room, ED, erectile dysfunction. 70%. They don't even go to the doctors. They don't want to, and they should. But it's embarrassing. You want to go in the waiting room, and you have to talk to doctors, the awkward thing, the pharmacy, the whole 9 yards. Well, Roman has come along and made everything so easy. It's a one-stop shop where a licensed U.S. physician will diagnose ED and ship medication right to your door in unmarked packaging. You don't have to worry about the waiting room, the conversation, any of that stuff. It is so simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/Benson. You fill out a brief onboard medical thing, and then you chat with the doctor. You sit there and you just chat with the doctor. It's simple and easy. And then FDA-approved ED meds delivered right to your door. How simple is that? It's that simple. It's the wave of the future, and it's a great way to deal with something that can be embarrassing, uncomfortable. Most men don't want to talk about it. Simple and easy with Roman. That's right. Free online visit right now for you. Go to GetRoman.com/Benson. It's free. That's GetRoman.com/Benson. GetRoman.com/Benson. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Serving up talk radio medium rare and dripping with irony. It's Chad Benson.
The Walt Disney Company, which is a parent company of ABC News, has pioneered crowd control techniques since Disneyland opened in 1955.
To all who come to this happy place.
Now ahead of big crowds for the opening of the 14-acre, $1 billion Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Disneyland is going to begin limiting wide strollers. Children's push wagons and several smoking areas are going away. Big strollers will be measured outside of the gates. And for the first 3 weeks, only visitors with reservations will be allowed into Star Wars Land.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. We've learned it all. The Germans taught us about how to do stuff like this. Chad.
I don't even, there's just things that you avoid. And this is one of those. There is nothing about this that appeals to me. I'm not a huge crowd guy anyways, right? Tomorrow I've got the day off and take a Jack. We're going to go to SeaWorld. We're going to have a big weekend again. We go there, we have fun because when you have a pass, you're able to do stuff like that. All of my friends who have passes to Disneyland all say the same thing. You know when I'll see it? When school gets out for the summer and then it goes right back in, and then it's a September, October, Monday, then you make a decision to go. But the thought process of standing in line for hours to check this thing out, I will pass. There is just nothing about that seems intriguing at all. At all. And you wonder why, and you know what? People will. And then people say, well, eventually Disney's going to be too expensive. It's not, because it is so on everybody's bucket list. Just once. And there's enough people that want to go just once or twice that they will always be able to raise prices, and they're not going to price people out. They're just not. People will figure out a way to pay for it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. It is Major League Baseball's opening day. And kids, if you're talking baseball, then you got to be talking hot dogs.
Baseball and hot dogs remain inseparable. Year after year, hot dogs continue to hit it out of the park at the concession stand. Even as teams are innovating to offer more food choices and inventive creations, there's simply no replacing the unshakable bond baseball and hot dogs share.
Yeah. I love a hot dog. They've got all these crazy, wacky things, all you can eat, this, that, and the other. Some of these places, they make, it's at 48,000 calories, but there's just still some about a hot dog, right? There's something about a hot dog on a warm day, sitting there watching the game. It's just amazing. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Check us out on the Instagram as well. It is the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
He campaigned in 2016, as did many Republicans, on repealing and replace Obamacare. The problem is that he's trying to do it through DOJ. He's trying to do it through the courts. That's not going to give him clean hands. And I don't know if Barr told him anything. I don't know if Asar, the Secretary of Health, told him anything. But we have seen public displays of disapproval. But we've seen people like Susan Collins, who is the only Republican senator left in the entire Northeast, express disappointment with the president's decision to go after ACA.
Yeah. There's some people who are upset about it, but the reality is something needs to be done. See, here's the problem. And you find this all over in politics, right? Everybody agrees there's an issue. There's an issue. But one side helped create the issue. And so what they'll do is they'll fight to keep their thing whatever it is alive, recognizing that it's not working. And then we get stuck in a situation where, look, healthcare was rising, right? We like before Obamacare came along, there was problems. They just made it worse, and along the way, they told you they were going to make it better. I don't blame the Democrats for trying to do something. I blamed it for the path they took was wrong. But unlike other things where in private business, you step back and go, you know what? We tried something. It didn't work. Let's try to figure out how we can fix it. Government is, we tried something. It's broke. We'll throw more money at it. We'll piss everybody off. We'll make it politics, and we'll make it about campaigns. We'll get people involved in it. We'll get their feeling on it. We'll fight in the polls, and we won't actually solve the mess that we created.
I can tell you I'm from South Florida. There's 2 seats down in South Florida, where I live, that used to be Republican, Ileana Ross-Layton and Carlos Curbelo, that today belong to Democrats, like Donna Shalala, the former Secretary of Health under Clinton, and Debbie Mercasel-Powell. Those 2 ladies were laser focused on health care. They weren't talking about Trump. They weren't talking about Stormy Daniels. They were talking about health care. It was a winning issue in 2018 where I live.
Yeah. For a lot of people, it's an issue. And it's back to that economy thing, right? Because what do we think about? We think about money, not because we're greedy, but because we got to pay stuff. We got to make sure we have enough. There's things that we would like to do, stuff we'd like to try. There's vacations, all of these things. We think about it, right? Kids got soccer practice. One kid broke their glasses. The other kid's got to get a retainer. All of these things add up. And it's either about making more money or saving more money. And this is a situation. It's like when you go buy a car. What's the thing that everybody asks? What's my payment? What's my payment? Can I manage it? Healthcare is the same way, right? It's the same way. What's the payment? I was promised I was going to save $2,500 and I could keep my doctor. I haven't saved $2,500, not in the 8 years has been implemented combined, let alone a year. And secondly, and this is most importantly, I'm on like my 5th doctor. Oh, the doctor didn't stop, practicing medicine. I've moved a couple times, but the doctors I have found, they're no longer taking Obamacare, and one of them's just gone to complete concierge medicine. It is an issue. But they can't say, I love it. Well, yes, we know we need to do something. Well, what are you going to do about it? We just know we need to do something. Yeah, but what are you going to do about it? It's the analogy I give you, right? They're standing in the room. The milk gets spilt. The glass is on the floor. It's everywhere. They stare at each other and argue over who's going to clean it up. Who did it? Who's cleaning it up? Who gets credit for what? I don't care. The American people don't care. You're in my house. You spilled something. Clean it up. Stop acting like an a-hole.
The Trump administration radically expanded its war on America's health care this week. Hard to explain, but who knows? Asking the court to strike down every last provision of the Affordable Care Act.
No, it's war. They're enemies. It's war. It's war against the people. Look, if the Republicans get something done, great. If the Democrats get something done, great. If they both come together and they get something bipartisan done that actually gives us more freedom, more choice, more competition, more transparency, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It's not. It isn't. I was talking to somebody last night, and we were talking about just this very issue of healthcare, and you're not going to make it perfect for everybody. And that's the problem with so many things is everybody wants perfection. Somebody's going to be pissed. Somebody's going to feel left out. Somebody's not going to get what they were sold. And some people are going to get exactly what they wanted, and they're still going to bitch about it. But can you get 65 to 75% of the people a better deal? That's what you have to look for. You're not going to get perfection at all.
Make this promise to you, and it's a conversation I have with the president. the Republicans will make sure pre-existing conditions are protected.
No, you're not. You're not. You're going against it across the board. You're going against it. You're not. That's what I'm told all the time. You're not. We're not even seeing what you guys have. You're taking the issue on, big in talk, short on details. Want details. Nancy Pelosi, it's all about what? Oh, it's all about the war on health care and the person and grandma's getting not only thrown off the cliff, right? You're beating her before you toss her off the cliff.
What the Democrats have moved on to now is Medicare for all. That would remove hundreds of millions of Americans from their ability to have the health care because they could no longer have private health insurance.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is. I think here's the thing. I think there's lots of things we could do, but politically, what's best for me politically? Like the best thing for everybody would be if we did this. Why don't we give people choices? You want to be, you want your taxes, you want to pay into to Medicare and have your taxes go to a certain rate and have it handled and capped at a certain area of what you're going to have to pay. But that you're also limited in choice. You're going to be told where to go and it's going to be like this. And you want to give people the opportunity to have a choice with the private. That seems like you would sit around and go, that's not a bad idea. That seems like something we could get behind, right? Like I could get behind that. Give people the public option, the private option. Why is it so hard? Because in the end, it's about the politics of it, right? It's about the politics of it. What are these politics going to be? Do they benefit me politically to solve this? Or does it hurt me in the long run politically because it's an issue I can't campaign on anymore? You'll always be able to campaign on it because there's still going to be that 30+% that are going to feel like something's not going the way that they wanted it to go, and they'll be frustrated. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. Love hearing from you. The other big issue that I think is going to get bigger and bigger as we move forward is what's going on at the border. It is not getting any better, and much like the healthcare issue, it just kind of gets pushed to the side and it becomes a political issue. But the people that are dealing with it day in and day out are frustrated.
I briefed the media and testified in Congress that our immigration system was at the breaking point. That breaking point has arrived this week at our border. CBP is facing an unprecedented humanitarian and border security crisis all along our southwest border. On Monday and Tuesday, CBP started the day with over 12,000 migrants in our custody. As of this morning, that number was 13,400. A high number for us is 4,000. A crisis level is 6,000.
Yeah, and we're at that crisis level, and it's getting worse because nobody... The fight to stop anything from actually getting done politically is amazing. Watching the people fight over what should or shouldn't get done. It goes back to that analogy again. They spilled the milk. There's a glass on the floor. Somebody started it. Somebody didn't. I don't care who did it. Let's just sort it out. Let's clean it up. Let's pick up the glass. Let's clean up the milk. Let's get it done. It's not happening. It's just not happening. Because the first thing, this is the problem with politics, is what happens when you say, all right, and I've talked to so many politicians, and I love off the record stuff because I don't want to talk, like, don't give my name. You talk about the story, but just don't mention the person in there. But I had a great conversation a couple weeks ago with a politician, and we were chatting, and it's so funny the way he described specific politicians that he works with that are part of the resistance and who will go into situations and they will say, all right, okay, what is the right thing to do is this, but then I have to ask myself, how am I going to look to my constituents in a situation like this? Because they're not going to understand that this needs to be done. And what is this going to do for me long-term politically? It's not going to give me the look that I want. So this is, it's crazy. Right? It's like if you're deciding, like an agent puts 5 movie scripts out there and you're deciding, oh man, this character is deep and I really like it, but how is that going to look to my audience? if I play this character. When I've played all of these other characters, I've got something going here, and I don't want to derail that. It's nuts. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. By hearing my voice, you must realize.
Jackpot. $768.4 million. The lone winning Powerball ticket sold in New Berlin, Wisconsin. Lottery officials making the announcement after the drawing. The jackpot, $768 million with a cash option of $477 million. It's the third largest in U.S. lottery history, and it's the first time since December 26th there has been a match for all 6 numbers. It's also the largest pot since the $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot late last year. No word on who holds the winning ticket.
Yeah, well, it's not me, obviously, because I would be bragging about it. People say, would you have gone to work the next day? Oh, yeah, I would have. Are you kidding me? The entire show would have been about all the stuff that Phil and I were going to do that you guys couldn't do. I'm like, Phil, remember how you want to go to space? Where you going? That's what the show would have been like. That's the entire show would have been just... It would have been, I'd have been taking phone calls from people saying, no, really, I don't do this, but I'm going to give everybody a new car. Just, it would have been, that's what it would have been. Hell yes, I would have been showing up. Yes, I would have. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. At there be your Twitter, kids. You can tweet at us, MyPillow. That have been MyPillows for everybody. MyPillows all around. They are amazing. Because I'm traveling and stayed at a hotel last night. The sheets, sandpaper-ish is the best way to describe them. You know, I mean, it's weird too. The way that they laid the sheets out, they didn't actually fit on the sand. It was awful. It was awful. But I had my MyPillow, so I did get some rest. But the sheets are vitally important, and good sheets, another sign of just taking care of yourself. And they've got amazing sheets. So Giza, Giza. Giza cotton sheets. Cotton's grown in a very small area, Mediterranean, very cool. You slide into them. It's breathable. It just feels amazing, and you feel like $1 million. You ever know when you buy something for yourself, right? And you just like a good shirt or something like that. It's one of those things. When you get into bed with these sheets, and they got these deep pockets, so you don't have to worry about them popping off all the time, even after you wash them, like a lot of sheets do. It's like, oh, I deserve this. It's another way to give yourself something, especially towards your sleep. Giza sheets, 100% machine washable, dryable, made in the USA. Get your Giza sheets today. Call 800-983-4975 or go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code Benson. It's MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com, promo code Benson, or 800-983-4975. Use promo code Benson. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Warning, no snowflake zone. Uninformed opinions are in danger of melting. The Chad Benson Show.
I do not think that conduct, criminal or not, is okay. And the day we do think that's okay is the day we will look back and say that is the day America lost its way.
Oh, Adam Schiff. Dip Schiff. He's just Schiff for brains. Chad, it's getting close. I was telling producer Phil, you know who he reminds me of? He has no lips. He looks like he's a character actor, and his entire career has been ruining everybody's fun. Like he's the person that's chasing around Ferris Bueller, trying to ruin everybody's fun. He's never going to give this up. He is absolutely convinced, without a shadow of a doubt, that Trump is the devil, and that the only reason that Trump is there is because he cheated. That's it. He's still trying to process how this happened. He knows it for sure. He knows it 100%. He knows it.
You might think it's okay that the campaign chairman of a presidential campaign would offer information about that campaign to a Russian oligarch in exchange for money or debt forgiveness. You might think that's okay. I don't.
He doesn't. Now they don't, Mueller. Oh, my God, Mueller, he was in the bag. This thing's only 300 pages long. I don't buy that. You can't read 300 pages. Are you kidding me? My little brothers and sisters, my little sisters, when the Harry Potter thing was, like, huge, they would they read a few of those books that were, like, 600 pages in a weekend. And I guarantee it was a lot more interesting. And the more that you find out how this came to be, with Brennan and Clapper and all of these things, the more that this stuff comes out, I have a feeling it is going to get uglier on the other side in the way that this thing has come out than they realize, than they absolutely realize. And James Comey, he's talk about somebody who is Trump. I think Trump had him pegged better than a lot of people did, right? And I guarantee you in a quiet moment, Hillary Clinton's like, yeah, Trump's right. That guy is an SOB. Self-righteous, to say the least. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You tweet at us. Love hearing from all of you. People are like, would you have really come to work, Chad? Because I said I'd come to work if I won the lottery. Hell yeah. I'm not quitting my job. That's the funny thing is the first question is, would you quit your job? No. I love what I do. I'm not going to quit my job. Right? That's silly. People quit their job because they hate their job when they win the lottery. When you love it, you're going to show up. Now, if it's backbreaking, that you may love it. Maybe, maybe a little bit different. Maybe you start your own. But no, I'm still showing up. I'm just doing it in a better car, and we're going to have a bigger studio. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
You're a bunch of wimps. You're a bunch of cowards. You think getting in my face makes me feel bad? These people are all sick of your shit. They're Americans. They're not traitors and scum like you. No, you're the one acting all powerful. You're the one telling people eat shit. You ain't nothing, boy. I was already leaving.
Go back to your apology tour.
Yeah, my apology tour? It's never been more successful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you support censorship? You're not an American? Look at this guy. All of them getting in my face.
That right there is Alex Jones, who appears on our show only in jest. But he is being confronted, and then he's filming, and then other people are filming him, filming them as they argue. I think he was out to dinner with, if I'm correct, I think it was, oh, God, what's his name? The comic does the podcast. I always forget his name, the comic. What's his name, Phil? Does the big podcast? Yeah, he was out with Rogan, I think, and his wife. And it was, it's so funny watching everybody film each other. But I was thinking to myself, I would hate that life. Right? I would hate that life where everywhere you go now, because of the political tribalism that we live in and the confrontationalism that has become confrontainment, I would hate to be in a situation where everything is this.
Dude, you ain't an American. You're a slob. We never would have founded the country with big-ass wimps like you. No, you're the one who wants to run your fat, lip-tart mouth. It's the real world right here. You guys are all pissed because you got extra chromosomes. I get it. The internet, this is the
just what? It's just, but I talk to other hosts who are really, really big, TV all the time, stuff like that. And I will tell you that their life is usually they have a security person with them. Right? It's not a lot of fun. I mean, the money's great, but there is a give in that take. And the give is that you're going to go places and things are going to happen. People are going to confront you because everybody feels they have the right to confront you on something. And no, I'll pass. I'll pass on that. But we live in this weird world where it's just like, I was reading yesterday, Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, right? He says that he's going to have to stop being friends and rooting, I guess, for Tom Brady, because Tom Brady has supported the president. And he can't compartmentalize it anymore. He just has to cut ties. And I thought to myself, God, that is just insane to think that, hey, I can't be friends with you more because of somebody who's going to be here for a small amount of time is going to be president of the United States. I would never say I can't be friends with you because Hillary won. Our friendship is far more valuable than who's in the White House that has very little play in the everyday life of somebody. I'm not even thinking about it. Like when I have a friend, it's not like, But in a lot of ways, we're pushing each other to these echo chambers, right? If we're going to be in a situation where we can't have friends who are just friends and their politics may not jive always with us, that we only seek out our own, because if they don't jive, you're going to confront them all the time. You're going to be mad at them all the time. Why would they not want to go somewhere where they're at least welcomed? Because after a while, they're like, this isn't worth it. And that's on us. That's absolutely on us. That's not a good thing. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from you. So I'm not a fan of Comey. I never was a fan of the way he acted, even when it became a situation with Hillary, the way he inserted himself. And he's going around on his tour because, that he's self-righteous, and we all know that. And he's got to get out there and say the things he says and do the things he does. And you know what? It's one of those things. It's like, let me tell you my answer about this and then more about me. It's the way I always feel about him, right? Like, he wants to be Captain America. He wants to. Well, first of all, they would have never chosen you to be Captain America, right? Because they had to do the experiment to make Captain America. And you're like 6'8", so they weren't going to do it with you. They weren't.
Well, not over until we see the transparency. I mean, the important question has been answered, right? The Russia thing was not a hoax. We were right that there was a massive Russian effort to elect him and to defeat Hillary Clinton. It's also important that we established that no Americans were part of that effort. That, believe it or not, that should be good news whether you're a Democrat or a Republican.
Yeah, that should be. I mean, we talked about this the other day. It's like, shouldn't we be excited and happy and relieved that the person that's in the White House did not collude? But no, we're not, because it's a politics thing again. Well, does this affect my politics? Does this hurt my chances for something? Could I be missing out on something? Is this a chance to take down the enemy as people see each other now in politics? So no, I'm not happy about that. And then now it's like, well, if he got by this, God, I hope there's a recession soon so we can get him out of there. Hope the average person's hurt so we can get rid of this president and we can install somebody. And then that's insane. That's the way people feel.
I don't know that I read the letter from the Attorney General that way. I read him as saying the special counsel didn't find that the evidence established that there was any conspiracy between an American and the Russians. What other evidence there is, what evidence there might be that falls short of that standard, I have no idea.
Established is the word that you're honing in on there?
Established. Correct. Established is the word. We're honing right in on established. Let's establish. I'm honing in on that establishment thing. Established. If you believe Trump was guilty, you still believe he's guilty, and it's a cover-up, and that Mueller is a shill, and Barr is a shill, and they're probably changing things now. And you want to see the entire, and I love the Democrats. We need to see the entire report. Because of grand jury, you can't see the entire report because that's a law that's been put in there. And you understand that. So you know that it's impossible for that to happen. And you also know that there are people in there that shouldn't be in there, that just by association were put in there, and then it could be embarrassing. So you're not going to be able to see those. You understand that, but that's the politics again. How does this affect me? Does this hurt my numbers? How does this affect me? Because I need to know that. I need to know that. Then he went on to talk about the what if scenario. Break it down. Like, what if? Let's just take a situation and the what if scenario about like an imaginary kind of situation with, and he builds up to it. It's very interesting what he's trying to say.
Again, the president appears to be saying I don't know what's in his head, which is why I can't reach the conclusion. What he appears to be saying is, I got rid of this guy to shut down an investigation that threatened me.
Democrats.
Yeah, right. So I got rid of the guy that threatened to. So that's the what if. The what if, but I can't really, because in his mind, I can't put it, so I can't do the mind thing because in the mind, I can't predict what he was doing in his mind. Right? I can't predict that. And that's the big thing about the whole whether or not there's obstruction. You have to show some sort of intent. There was intent to do something, and you've got to try to read somebody's mind. And you and I both know that's not possible.
The Iranians, this is totally made up, the Iranians to help elect Barack Obama because they think they'll get a better nuclear deal from him. And during that election, an Obama aide meets with the Iranians and talks about the dirt they have that will help Obama get elected. And the FBI finds out about that. We should not investigate that? And then President Obama's national security advisor lies to the FBI about his contacts with the Iranians. And then the president, Obama, asked me to drop an investigation of that and then fires me and says, I was thinking of the Iranian thing. Who on earth doesn't think the FBI should investigate that? So the hypocrisy is revealed just by changing the names.
Yeah. So, and I get what he's trying to do. Here's the problem I have with that. He's right. If that happens, you absolutely look in that. The problem is if you base that entire thing on something that was completely made up, that was shopped around, and then you passed it off as something real, and you took it straight to the media, and through the media built up some sort of thing where you felt that there was pressure then by the people to then go and look for something, that's the issue people have. Not whether or not that kind of scenario or the scenario, with Trump, and you could have said if you would have just found this out through real channels, not through something made up, that you should investigate something like that. It's the way that it came to be that you found these things out, that the investigation started. That's where people are like, yeah, that's BS. Right? Like, what if Fox News got some sort of funny dossier about these people and what's going on in in Iran, and they started passing it out to Breitbart and then leaking it to New York Times and CNN, this, that, and the other, and all of these things, and it became something that really wasn't anything, and it was just a political hit job, poorly written? People would have a huge issue with that. I would have a huge issue with that. You should have a huge issue with that. That's why people look at somebody like Adam Schiff and Brennan and Clapper and all these people that got so involved in this side of the public side of it, realizing that that dossier was a bunch of junk. And they knew that before. They didn't even really look into it, but they wanted so badly to tear something down. They went hard at it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. This is interesting. This is this thing that's going on right now. If you guys don't understand, so the president, he has his budget, and his budget is really not a budget, right? It's like, here's my budget. This is on my wish list. None of it's going to happen because Congress controls the purse strings. So what's going on right now is this fight, and it's turned into, you want to cut the Special Olympics. And Betsy DeVos is in the middle of this whole thing. And so today she's being grilled again. And it could be a $1 trillion worth of other crap that needs to go and that we need to spend money on, that we should be focusing on. But there's no politics in it as far as the points go. So you bring somebody on and you just destroy them. And I like the fact that she's standing up and just calling BS.
Did you personally approve this? I think a yes or no will do. The $18 million cut of the funding for Special Olympics.
No, I didn't personally get involved in that.
Well, I want to tell you, whoever came up with that idea at OMB gets a Special Olympic gold medal for insensitivity.
Oh, insensitivity. Well, being insensitive doesn't mean you're wrong. They cut a lot of things out in this thing. And some of and I have two little brothers that are special needs. One of them, you guys have you've seen pictures of him and I together. He is in a wheelchair. He has a G tube and a breathing tube. A trach. He's brain damaged. And he participates. He's been the poster boy on a few occasions. Let me tell you something. I looked and I thought it was $18 million. Not everybody's happy. They're spending a bunch of money over here at a hospital, charity that they're splitting money. Should we get rid of that? Should we split the difference? But it's not about the money, because we all know, and I think that they should capitalize all over this. Some Special Olympics, I'm like, look, here's a perfect chance for us to go out and get tons of corporate dollars. So people will say, oh, look how horrible the Trump administration is. They'll throw us hundreds of millions of dollars. Now's our chance to strike. But this is all about politics.
That is just disgusting, and it's shameful.
Well, Madam Secretary, let me tell you what. Eliminating $18 million out of an $70 or $80 billion budget, I think is shameful, too.
Yeah, I think it is shameful. You know what I really think is shameful? How many agencies we have that are duplicates, how many agencies we have that are useless, how much money we waste on all kinds of little stupid things. You're right. I would love to cut it from a lot of places. But we all know that everybody wants their fair share. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Hey, I love my cat. I got two cats. I got Pretty Cupcake, who's not the friendliest cat in the world. Then we got Three. Three's the bomb. You guys don't know who Three is. Three's my cat that I had for literally a week. Just decided I'm going to live here. You guys. I'm going to live with you guys. And then Three got hurt, and he lost his leg. And I'm like, oh, boy. And we call him Three because he has 3 legs. And he's amazing. But for all of the animals I have, the fact is their litter box was so stinky, right? So stinky. Then we switched to Pretty Litter. It is Kitty Litter 2.0, ships right to my door. Tiny little bag lasts you a month. It's incredible. You don't have to run to the store and grab that giant, huge bag like you're loading something up. Oh, my goodness. They've got this amazing super absorbent crystals. They actually trap and conceal odor and moisture. No smell, no mess, none of that barbaric way of clumping and this, that, and the other. And none of that. And here's the other thing. It's really amazing. It even monitors your cat's health. Pretty Litter changes colors to detect underlying illnesses before urgent medical care is needed, saving you money, stress, and potentially your cat's life. Do what I did. Save 20% right now. Make the switch to Pretty Litter. Visit prettylitter.com. Use promo code CHAD for 20% off your first order. That's prettylitter.com. Promo code CHAD. prettylitter.com. Promo code CHAD. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Plea deal this.
Mueller, arrest me.
Chad will trade you 2 perjury charges for 1 collusion and throw in a reduced charge of obstruction for free.
Yeah, I'd do that.
For just listening to The Chad Benson Show.
It is called plogging. What is plogging, you might ask?
There is trash everywhere, especially this time of year after the snow has melted. There's been trash sort of laying around all winter.
It's kind of hard to ignore it.
And that's why these folks are part of a group they're hoping you can't ignore. It's called Cleveland Plogs, a spin-off of a fitness craze that actually started in Sweden.
Roughly translates to plocka up, which is picking up litter while jogging.
Yeah, that's a new thing right now. So now you can do 2 things you don't want to do, which is jog and pick up garbage.
The bright T-shirts, the basketball hoop trash can, the whole spectacle is so people can ask what they're doing and then, hopefully, how they can help. Working with area high schools, youth groups, city and community leaders, the goal is simple. Get out, get exercise, and clean up your streets at the same time.
I think I get excited about anything that makes my neighborhood better.
That's a negative. That is a negative. I'm not going to plug. Like, if I see a piece of trash, I'll pick it up, but I'm not going to go, hey, I got a great idea. Why don't we all jog and then we'll pick up stuff along the way? We could even do, how about, I'll do you one better. How about we help people move? We'll call it mogging. So we just randomly run to people's houses and we just start picking up their furniture when they're ready to move and moving it for them. Hey, we're mogging today. You want to go? That's a negative, Ghost Rider. I'm not going to go, but I appreciate the effort. 2 things I will never do. I'm not coming to your wedding, and I'll never help you move, and I promise you I'll never ask you to do the same thing. Right? I can promise you that. Don't want to do it. Not going to do it, like best friends, those kind of things. But for the average person, like, I just kind of know you. Don't invite me to your wedding, and I'm not going to help you move. I'm not. Right? I will never ask you to help me move. Ever. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Love hearing from you. Do love hearing from you, kids. Oh, yeah. The NCAA tipping off again tonight, getting back in the full swing. Let's see how my bracket does. Bracket of disappointment. Here's your useless fact of the day. 36 years ago, you wanted to buy a phone, a cellular phone. You could. It was a mobile phone. Cost you roughly $4,000 then. Adjusted for inflation, it's about $10,000 today. So that iPhone looks a little bit cheaper and better, right? Have yourself a good rest of your day. I'm off tomorrow. See you on Monday. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.